What's up, you guys? All right, well, today's a day where everything that could go wrong went wrong. Today was a disaster. It's snowing outside, as you guys can see, and so I'm trading from home. I'm not on my typical trading station. I don't have all my monitors. I don't have, I'm working with what I've got, but I knew that today was going to be a bad day. I just didn't know how bad it would be. So let's get into the recap. All right, everyone. So we're going to go over today's recap. This was yesterday. I'll just start by going over yesterday. Yesterday, I knew we had a snowstorm coming. And so I went down to my office, just downtown, and I grabbed my two USB monitors because I'd left them at the office over the weekend. I usually bring them home with me, but I think last week I was like, I probably shouldn't carry these around every day. I might end up breaking them, so I'll leave them at the office. And then of course, we have snow coming in on Monday, so I had to go back to the office to get them. Whatever, not a big deal. So I go down to the office, I get the monitors, and I come back up and I set them up here in my little office at my house, which is okay. I have fiber. However, I've never really used this office a whole lot for trading, and I only have one Ethernet cord. All right, so I've got one Ethernet cord, but today I have two laptops, and my plan with this small account challenge was that I would be recording my trading every day. So I'd be recording my trades so you guys, would be able to go back and watch, the trades, especially from the first week or the first 2 weeks of the small account challenge. I thought that those would be really especially helpful for you guys to see. The problem is that the software that I can only screen record one monitor at a time, and the monitor that I'm usually broadcasting is the one over here on the left side. So I was like, all right, well, then I'll use my other computer for broadcasting my scanners to the chat room and to YouTube, and then this computer I'll use for trading. And so this morning I started streaming on my two computers. This one was great because it was on the fiber, hardwired. This one was on Wi-Fi and it kept dropping out. And then, within like 3 minutes, I saw people, complaining. The screen share's blurry, the audio's cutting out. And then I was streaming on YouTube, and YouTube was not working, so I was like, all right. And this is around 9 a.m. So I was starting the day feeling a little flustered. The dogs were barking, the plow truck was here, everything was kind of building up. And I was like, okay, I'm feeling my blood pressure rising. I'm feeling myself getting more and more frustrated with every bark that I hear, and every, it was just escalating. So I was like, okay, what am I going to do here? I've got, a situation and I need to kind of work through it. So I said, I'm going to ditch the recording. I've got to just have a good broadcast. So it is what it is. I'm not going to be able to record today. That's fine. So I just switched back to using this computer only, which was hardwired. So the broadcast, when I did that, was back to normal. And so then we started going over the watch list. Got that figured out, started going over the watch list. And the leading gapper this morning was ASLN. Now, ASLN is a stock that I did really well on last week. I mean, I really smoked it. It was just some really solid trades and great opportunities. So the bell rings, and by the way, this was gapping up with a pre-market high of $8.10. It was looking pretty good, and the only thing that I was a little worried about was that it already had 1.5 million shares of volume pre-market. As of right now, it has 9.45 million shares of volume. So the bell rings, and as you can see, right at the open, the stock dips down. So I'm watching it right through here, and I said I think over 650 is going to be a red to green move right here. And it breaks 650. But I was like, I'm a little hesitant on it. I'm a little nervous because it's a lot of selling that we just saw in these first two candles. So I'm not sure. And the thing with a red to green move is that inherently a stock that's red has shown weakness. So you're buying something that's kind of weak, which is not, it's okay. Red to green moves can work, and this one did. But the first candle to make a new high right here, it popped only up to 70, but the spreads were kind of big. So if I had taken that trade, I almost definitely would have lost money on it. It then dropped down, and then right here it ripped back up and squeezed all the way. It broke the high of this level of 670, which would have been a potential entry. It broke 670, and then it broke the high. It tapped $7 and pulled back for a second, and I was like, should I get in it here? And so I'm looking at my level 2. And then I click on it, and I try to click shift 1 because I wanted to see how many shares I'd be able to buy. And nothing happened. And I'm like, what is going on here? This is insane. Well, nothing happened because I had a lost connection window that was up above my order window. I lost connection during my pre-market watch list, and I hadn't, even though the quotes were streaming, I hadn't closed the window, and it was underneath everything else. So, so once again, technology failure, just frustration. But I thought to myself, I saw it hit 693, and then it dipped for a second down to like 663 or 673. And I was like, you know what? That's 20, 30 cents. That's a big drop. I don't know. I don't know if I can risk it. And then it breaks through 750, 8, all the way up to 818, and it gets halted. So now it's halted at 818, and I'm sitting here, holding my hands like this, just feeling like, God dang it, I missed it. With even 200 shares, this could have been $200, a great start to the small account challenge. So coming out of the halt, I'm like, okay, it's going to resume from the halt 5 minutes later. I'm going to watch it coming out of the halt. I think I'm going to get in. And guess what happened? It resumed from the halt. I'm about to press the buy button. And then it doesn't break the high right here of 18. It opens at 18 and it flushes down. No trades. That was a close one. And it comes all the way back down and it gets halted going down. So this is some pretty crazy volatility. I mean, this is honestly, this is tough stuff to trade. So what we saw was a swing first to the upside and then a swing back to the downside. And then through here, I was like, I'm done with it. I am not getting back in this stock unless it breaks over 818, and it has not broken over 818. And in fact, I said below 630 is a short right here, but I didn't want to take a short. I felt like that was, it was sort of past my first hour of trading, so I was like, I'm not going to trade a short. But it ended up, being kind of a quick little drop, pop up, and then a nice resolution down to 555, and then kind of bounce off that level. So that was ASLN. Now, while ASLN was squeezing up, we had BIMI, BIMI, pop up, and all of a sudden the stock squeezes from 320 to 340, 350, 360, 370, 380. It does a little pullback at 4 and then surges up to 455. And I'm watching it as it's surging up, but here's the problem. Stocks under $4, I don't have margin on. So while it was under $4, I had no margin. The second it crossed over 4, I had my margin on it, but then it felt extended. And so this squeezed up, and this final kind of high was right here at 940. ASLN resumed at 941, and when it resumed, it dropped, and so did BIMI. BIMI was kind of trading sympathy to ASLN. And so when ASLN dropped, BIMI dropped as well. And so here we are, day one, no trades. And I would say, thank goodness. My concern here this morning, and these were just test trades. I was just having an issue with my hotkeys. I was getting orders denied, so I was just testing stuff. So no trades today. And this is a day where I really strengthen that muscle of discipline. Those of you guys that watched my video over the weekend about the things I wish I had known when I first got started trading. And of course, I talked about a number of different things, but one of them was really the importance of building that muscle of discipline. Today was not easy. Today, everything started wrong. I lost internet twice, power flickered a couple times. Now I have a backup generator for the whole house. But if we lose power, everything drops and then it crosses over, so for a second, I'm offline. And so when power flickers, it effectively does the same thing. I drop off for a second and then I'm back up. Being on a laptop, the computer doesn't turn off, thank goodness. But things drop for a second. So lost, the internet a couple times. This computer was really frustrating. It was not streaming well. And then when it was streaming for a second, everyone was like, your audio sounds terrible. So I had to go scramble and find this headset that I wear when I'm doing seminars, like the seminar that we've got coming up in Miami. So, I had to switch gears real quick and grab this thing and plug it in and change my settings. So then I'm using this, but then the broadcast drops anyway. So it was like everything that could go wrong went wrong. And you know what I probably would have done when I was a beginner trader? Out of frustration, I would have just said, screw it, I'm taking a trade. I'm jumping into BIMI at 450. It's going to rip to 5. Forget it. I'm just getting in. Because you know what? A winner would make me feel better. I don't feel good. I'm frustrated. I'm annoyed. Surely a nice big green trade will make me feel better. So that emotion of feeling kind of off your game and disappointed can sometimes lead you to take an impulsive trade because a winner will make you feel good. Unfortunately, that's an impulsive trade and you're thinking about the win potential, not the risk potential. So on ASLN, I'm going to bring this back just to a 10-second chart because I want to show you this kind of micro pullback that occurred, and I want to show you why I hesitated on it. Because I did hesitate. And for me, this was what I was asking myself. I saw it pop up right here to 695, and then this candle it dropped down to 670. So it dropped 25 cents. Now, if I press on this ASLN, if I press Shift 1 is going to prepare an order using 50% of my buying power. So that right there is 50% of my buying power, 200 shares. 75% of my buying power is 300 shares. 90% of my buying power is 361 shares. So I can see how many shares I can take. But I only have $500 in this account. If I'm down $150, my account will auto liquidate and they lock it up. So if I take a trade, let's say with 300 shares, if I bought this with 300 shares at 95, then when it dropped here down to 70, I would have been down, in this case about $100. But let's say it dropped to 50 for a quick second. They would have market ordered my position, close it, and now my account's locked and I've got only $350 left. So I was really mindful that that's real risk. So something that's as volatile as this, that has already done, one false breakout right at the open, where it looked like it was going to squeeze over 720. A second false breakout right here. And this one, kind of seemed like a third one for a second because it hit 70 and then dropped back down to 49. And then it broke. But then it pulled back here. And this was that moment where I asked myself, not how much can I make on the trade. I knew that if it worked, I could make a good amount. I asked myself, how much am I risking taking this trade? Can I afford the risk? And the answer in that moment was no, because I have a small account. Obviously, right now I'm on day one of the smallest of small accounts that you can possibly have, $500. I mean, this is a tiny account. And if I had 1,000 or 2,000 or 3,000, I probably would have gone ahead and taken this pullback trade. I would have had the cushion and been able to afford a little bit of the risk. But on this day, I had to be careful, and that meant sitting on the sidelines. It's you even look at the overall market right now. The overall market has been up so much this year. There's a part of anyone that might think, man, I should have done a refinance on my home and put that money into the market. I'd be up 15% this year, right? Okay, yeah, I guess so. But what if it had gone the other way? At any time when we get a recession, the market can drop 30%. So yeah, that 15% reward is nice. Everyone thinks that's great. No one complains about a winner. But could you have handled it if you did a refinance and then lost 30% of your money and you now still have a mortgage payment? And the answer is probably no. And similarly with a trade like this on ASLN, could I have afforded the risk? And how would I be feeling right now if I was doing this recap and I said, listen guys, I jumped into this ASLN trade and it did this move, this big drop, 2 seconds after I got in, and I just blew up my account. It's done. It's gone. I got to start over. That would feel pretty bad. Now this could happen to me, certainly, and if it happens as a result of trading a setup that was totally following the rules, and it's just a crazy kind of drop, a freak type of thing, fine, whatever. That's part of trading, and I'll live with it. But if it happens, if I take a loss like that because I give into FOMO or I give into frustration, that's where I'm going to be upset with myself. So I had a bunch of you guys over the weekend leaving comments on my videos and stuff asking about which broker I'm going to be using for the small account challenge. So you can see this is CMEG right here, and this broker will let me day trade as much as I want with a $500 minimum. So I put in my $500 and I can day trade as often as I want. I do have to pay commission. It's not a free commission broker like TD Ameritrade or E-Trade. I pay a commission of $2 for every trade I take. That's a group rate for Warrior Pro students that are joining right now as I'm starting this new small account. So it's a special kind of promo rate that's in place right now. And then I have an ECN fee, the toll for every share that I trade. So those ECN fees can be anywhere from 0.0015, meaning an extra $150 on 1,000 shares, to 0.003, which would be an extra $3 for every 1,000 shares. So trading 1,000 shares, buying and selling, could cost me between, $5 to buy and another $5 to sell. So that's $10, maybe 15 at the most. So I've got to make at least $1 or at least a penny per share, really just to cover my cost. So a trade where I got in something and I'm only up 2 cents per share, well, that's really not going to be much of a winner after commissions. So I've got to be mindful of that as well. But anyway, so this is where I'm sitting today. No trades, and I didn't trade in my Lightspeed account either. I certainly could have, but today, and as I kind of am starting the first week of the small account, I'm really focusing on this account. Now, what I'll probably do is, if I have one really good trade in this account, I'll probably say, okay, that's it. I made my $100. I'm done with that account for the rest of the day. I'm going to focus on this account, for the rest of the morning. But this morning, I just never got the opportunity to build a cushion. ASLN was too quick. BIMI didn't hold, and I didn't want to give into FOMO. Right now, my last, 8 out of 9 days have been green, and I'm on a little bit of a hot streak. I did have one red day in there where I lost 500, and today's going to be a no trade day. But, the thing to remember is that there's always going to be another trade around the corner. So there's no reason to, chase one of these and end up blowing up your account when there'll be another opportunity that you can jump into, no doubt, tomorrow or the next day. So that's my plan right now. Not the most exciting start to my small account challenge, but just a great opportunity to strengthen that muscle of discipline. And I told you guys, I was very clear that it's very possible I won't trade on day one if I don't see something that's perfect. And you guys should, have that same attitude if you're trading with a small account. Quality over quantity. Trade the best, leave the rest. It's got to be the way. So that's it for me. I hope you guys have an awesome afternoon, and I will see you all first thing tomorrow morning. And hopefully we have, some more stocks on the gap scanner. Hopefully we have something that maybe isn't quite so crowded pre-market, and we see a little bit clearer momentum. I think a good way to kind of measure momentum today is, are any of the small cap stocks that were on the watch list this morning at high a day right now or near high a day? And the answer is no. Most of them that popped up have ended up coming back down. So we're not seeing a lot of the momentum sustaining. That's okay. We'll live to trade another day. We'll be back at it tomorrow. All right. I'll see you guys in the morning. Bye, everyone. Hey, did you know that I go live every single morning between 9 and 9:15 to stream my pre-market watch list? Subscribe to the channel, press the bell for the alert, and you'll get the notification.